We are live and let's get so we were here last time we tried to get this UI for Pocket, which is like Mozilla's Mozilla Firefox way of an app for like reading text, reading articles, and it is now deprecated or discontinued in uh, service. So I want to develop that kind of free and open source version of it just to get my get a like a end-to-end project under my belt. So the thing which is interesting here because I personally wanted to use this kind of app, which is I have a lot of articles to read, and I sort of at the end of a week I try to write my article, right, which is Text Structure Weekly. So I have been writing this for almost a year now. So there have been 47 weeks, so almost a year. It will be ending in July, the 1 year anniversary of this. So what I do usually is I have this summary of what I read in the past week. So I have like I've read around 7 articles which I think are worth mentioning here and which are like uh, very useful for me as well, and it could be useful for others to discover these articles as well. So what I what I there are some pain points here which I faced here. Like one is being able to keep track of what articles did I read and what articles were really helpful for me. Um, is that a solved problem? Maybe it is, but I have not found a solution which will work for me. So I am deciding to solve it myself to solve my first problem here, which is able to uh, dump every link that I read into a single place, and later on then I can just skim through with a singular interface and I can just be able to articulate my thoughts around this in an organized way. So maybe for now we'll just stick to organizing the links and the articles that I read in a one shot, which I creating something like playlist, right? So like a group of resources that I want to add or links basically, like a list of links that I want to read in a singular week or something. So that is one thing. I've coined the term Spotify for reading because Spotify is really uh, like a de facto standard for listening to music, and that app's quality is really nice. That's what I want to build at that standard, but I don't know if I'll be able to build that, but I want to give it a shot. So I did try using AI to help me with the front end part because I'm not really well good at front end. So I did try this, and if we see here, we had something like Zen Reader Pocket. Was it this or the other one? I don't remember. Maybe it's this one. Yeah, this was the one. So if you see here, the UI was pretty good starting point. right? If we start reading, we have this sort of interface for reading, and I don't think it's a good interface, but it's a good starting point. But I don't want to move ahead with this style because it just feels not intuitive to me because it's all over the place. There's no there's no cohesive way to navigate between things here. I want to make it a little better. So let's give it one more shot here. Can we expand this? I don't think so. So I have to write it somewhere else now. This is critical. The navigation across the pages from playlist to homepage and individual resources should be smooth as possible. This is critical and should be thought in a innovative way to make user experience smooth and polished. Try to make it a Spotify grade like details and user interface. Make it simple yet powerful for users for power users. The reading experience should be completely distraction free. Just the text and that's it. No other distraction. This will be the second mode called the Zen mode, where it will be just a full screen flow with the text on the screen. So I think this is a good interface for this. But I want to make GPT. I think maybe not. Sometimes that's really bad with the retry. Let's give this a shot because it's not deviated from what I called. Maybe with one catch here that I cannot maybe do at this point, which is where it is Google Auth. Okay, let it spin. So till then, we need to talk about a few other things, which will be about how to architect this application. So till then, to talk about a few other things, which will. So let's get to the board and get started with it. So what will be the flow looking like, right? Like definitely there will be input, which will be on the form of links. For now, it will be just links. Maybe we can add text later on, but for now it could be that. Then we have a thing called organizing, or we should say collections, and it will be a resource and a collection of resource. Resource will be an individual link. You can you can definitely have just one link, and that could be a resource, and collection could be just like songs, right? Songs will be a resource and collection will be a playlist. So that is what I am coming from. Okay. Not able to clearly see the demo. Start reading. I go to Zen mode. Add a link. Okay. Add article. There's, there's no playlist here. Is it lagging or is it just me? Okay, it is React code. Maybe it should not be a single page app. Make it multiple page. Give all the components, interactions, screens, and pop-ups and illustration, not illustrations, like and minor to detailed. This is a good starting, but not saying it's bad, but it doesn't look good. Like this is just, I'm not sure. Like lovable feels quite the same and repetitive thing to do. Like um, I think I do it myself rather than do it on the QI. So here we were having two parts of it, resource and a collections of resource. So with that, we need to now decide how to use them to effectively make the user add and manage these resources and able to consume the resource in a better way. So there are a few things you need to first consider, which is how to use store a single resource, right? And I don't want to get into the database schema of it, but this is where we want to understand what things we need to get in before we store this resource. So definitely we will have a link, we'll have the name, we'll have the timestamp, right? These are pretty. simple things that we need to have, and optionally we can have some tags which will be based on what the user provides and what we think this resource belongs to, so that we will have some sort of a way, not just with collections. Collection is a user created entity, right? So we cannot group resources into collections. Like we can definitely do that, but tags will hold separate things here, independent of the collections. We can create collections based on tags. That is a different thing. So with that said, we need to have much more thing for a resource just than this basic things, which is um, the content. Now this is a little tricky because this is the part where we need to understand how our backend systems would create this resource, because creating a resource is pretty simple, but actually populating the resource with the right content is going to be the mode of this application, which is to say that there are tools which just do this, which is, I think, Fireflow, or was it Fireflow? So it was Firecrawl. This is the new AI thing which can turn websites into LLM ready data. And I don't want to make it LLM ready, but like this is like the mode of this is scraping, right? Getting LLM ready data for from websites like Markdown, JSON, and something like that. So if it's able to give me the data, like grab the data from any kind of website, that is a really a good problem to solve. It is a solved problem, I believe, but how well that problem is solved is also one of the considerations for this applications as well.